Good morning.
Good morning.
We are now on day 6 of our road trip. We're at the parking lot for the West Virginia State Capitol that we're going to be touring here shortly. And we've got our assigned meter parking space that we're getting ready to put coins in. And before we could even get out of all the spaces... It wasn't
assigned to us.
Well, okay.
But
we assigned it to ourselves.
Yeah,
we picked it.
And then what happened?
And before I could even get out of all the available spaces...
All the hundreds of available spaces.
This car over here had to pull in right next to me. And they even anticipated that it might be a tight squeeze, so they had to like stop, let their passenger get out. The heifer. And then they could pull in. And now they're paying their little meter. And, you know, don't want to get in their way. You know, let them go ahead and get in.
Well, Lord, you sound like me.
I know. You're rubbing off on me.
Wow.
All right. So
who's that?
So we're going to do a little tour, and then
Robert De Niro.
And then
wow.
Yeah, and then you're going to see the rest of our adventures.
Cowbell. Lord, look what swelled up overnight.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. All right.
No.
What? That's how cowbell goes.
I know, but you didn't need to do that.
Okay. Well, I think our viewers love our spontaneous entertainment. All right.
Our viewers.
Viewers. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. So we just finished our tour inside the Capitol. And now we've stepped out front to get our outside view of the front of the Capitol and the statue of Abraham Lincoln out front. And across from the Capitol is the Kana River. How do you pronounce it? It's not Kanawha, it's not Kanawha, it's just Kana River. So, very nice complex area. Alright, let's see what else is around here. Alright, so this is the West Virginia Governor's Mansion. And across the river from the Governor's Mansion is the University of Charleston. Can you imagine being a student attending class over there and having this nice river view, plus seeing the Governor's Mansion and the Capitol across the way? And here's a side view of the Governor's Mansion. Alright, so Dennis and I are at a little exhibit slash museum commemorating the first Shoney's. The original name was Parquet, big boy. Alright, so they got, it spells around the edge, Parquet, and then above is a big boy, which looks very similar to Frisch's Big Boy, but it is a distinctly different restaurant chain. Alright, and they had a contest to rename it from Parquet to something else, and Shoney's won the name contest. And then, of course, those of you familiar with Shoney's
came up with the name Shoney's.
Yeah.
Because the guy's name is Alex Schuenbaum.
Schuenbaum, okay.
Read it before you start making up.
Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to read this to everybody.
No, I'm not saying that. Before you start making a video, you need to read it.
Okay, anyway, I'm just pointing this out to the viewers. Here's a plaque, and if we walk around, there's little windows with all kinds of memorabilia. So what you're going to do is, if you want to come here and take time to view and read this stuff, then you can come to the west.
Look at those prices.
The west side of Charleston, West Virginia, to see this. You can find it also on Roadside America.
So here's what I'm talking about. So in 1954, the Parquet Big Boy shops ran a contest for a new name. And Paul S. Paul S. Edens, won the contest by coming up with the name Shoney's. And he got a 1954 Lincoln Capri hardtop convertible. Wow.
Very nice.
And it's a play on the owner's last name, who it was Schoenbaum, Alex Schoenbaum.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for taking the time
But what I want to know is why all these restaurants revolved around the big boy.
I don't know. That's just something we'll have to Google.
Do you see that famous big boy? It's got that same, looks like that same tartar sauce that the
Frisch's.
Frisch's.
Yep.
But look, they were 50 cents.
Yeah. Be nice to have those kind of prices.
But what gets me is it was 50 and onion rings were 30. Onion rings has always been way.
Right, right. Okay, so I got the big boy in the video and all
And the
that.
big boy here too.
Yes. We're at La Playa, I think it's called. So we're in the Mexican for lunch, and we're having Speedy Gonzalez lunch specials with enchilada taco and rice.
Can I eat now?
Yes, you can eat crappie. All right, so we just came out of the Tamarack marketplace here in Beckley,
like
West
Rick,
Virginia.
rack.
Tamarack.
Rack.
And I mean, there's something on my lens.
Are you filming?
Yeah, I am.
Which direction?
Me on my lens. But anyway, this structure behind me, the person's not really smelling their armpit.
Somebody needs their
eddies
cleared off.
This is commemorating all the coal miners who died in the coal mines due to some toxic fumes. I think they call this structure piece something about the tunnel of death, because of the hazards that many coal miners had faced back in the day. So this is at the Tamarack marketplace. If you want to come by and see it, it's near the entrance. All right, so we are at the Peace Totem in Beckley, West Virginia. And over in this direction, over that way, is an exhibition for a coal mine. So we're going to check out to see if we want to do this or not.
We might ride down in a coal mine.
Mm-hmm.
It says 50 degrees down there.
Yeah, so we're going to see time, cost, all that, and see if we're going to do it or not. All right, we are.
Look at, take a picture.
Where?
That thing. Right there. It's pulling us in the
Yeah. We're going to go down to a coal mine. We're going to ride.
It's a coal miner going to take us down in the coal mine.
And we're going to ride a coal train.
Cool, it's a train.
Here we go.
Everybody okay on the ground?
Yes.
All right. That's the way I like it. A happy crew's a productive crew. My last couple of crews been kind of slow with the coal.
So we got to do half of one of those?
Do what?
We have to do half of one of those?
What is
One
that?
time.
Yeah, that's this one back here.
So that's what we have to do.
Yeah. You don't think you're gonna get out? money, you have to do a couple of things on your section. First thing is check your air, make sure it's breathable and you can live in it. Second thing is check your top and make sure it's good and solid. The next thing, pick up this 4-foot drill, place it against the coal, put the breastplate on while laying on the ground, drill into this coal. In this seam, you'll make 3 holes, one on each side, one in the center. And they can run a piece of equipment just as good as some men. But also believe me, ladies, there is some of them out there that just like some of the men, they're not worth the powder to blow their brains out with. If you're using too much and it's over the primer out of a shot shell, you use too much primer.
So this is called a neighborhood menagerie.
Menagerie.
Menagerie. So a few of these houses through here have got these wildlife figurines in their yards. So you can see them on.
They can see them.
Both sides. And this is also in Beckley, West Virginia.
Look at that.
So really interesting.
And look at that. And then there's a guy mowing his yard.
Okay.
And there's a house.
Smart Ellen. Okay, you can turn off that segment.
And there's a crest. Lord!
So Dennis and I used to go to a Texas Steakhouse and Saloon when it was in Mooresville, North Carolina. And a few years ago,
When there was 13 of them.
it closed. And we didn't know if there were any left, but apparently there are.
5 left now.
6. There's 2 here in West Virginia and 4 in North Carolina, but nowhere near us. Okay, I thought I said 4.
Lumberton, Mooresville.
Rocky Mountain, Smithfield. Last I knew that equals 4.
4. That's what I said.
Yeah. So anyway, this is where we're going to have dinner tonight because it's right next to our hotel. We didn't feel like driving anywhere else today.